Hi, and welcome back. It's Victoria. We're going to dive into a couple more practices for rest and relaxation. For today's practice, you need no props at all. I would recommend comfortably fitting clothing. As you can tell, I haven't changed into leggings or exercise gear, but you will want to make sure that the clothes that you are wearing are flexible, that they're not going to restrict your movement. So maybe thick belts, or if there are very tight pants, my pants have an elastic waistband, or any shirts that are made out of stiff materials, or a blazer might be something that you're going to want to take off. And given that this might be something that you do as you prepare for bed or even just before you get into bed, you might be doing this in your pajamas. So see what works for you, whether you're going to run through it now with me, dress however it is you're dressed, or whether you're going to get ready for bed and then do it. So you're just going to come to find a comfortable standing position, and you're going to first bring the chin to the chest and then roll the ear to one shoulder, then come back to the middle and roll the opposite ear to the second shoulder. And you're going to do this a few times, just softly back and forth. There's no right number. You're going to find whatever speed or depth of the movement feels right for you. And to give it a context, the important thing here is that we're trying to allow the body to be aware of whatever tension is present, and the movement might help release it. And sometimes tension can be read by the body as stress and keep us in a sort of sympathetic nervous system response. And before bed, we want to, or rather being in a parasympathetic response, which is the side of the nervous system that helps us rest and digest. And so releasing some tension might be one of the ways that we can help the body prepare for rest, right? So you're just going to do this as long or short as it feels comfortable to do this. If you want to, you can lift your hands up, put them behind your head, and roll the head to the back as well. And you're not going to do too many of these movements, but just enough to sort of notice where the body might be holding tension. And you're not trying to pull at the body, you're just trying to use the movement like a good conditioner. You may or may not be familiar with an expression, which is motion is lotion. And as you can tell, now that my hands are above my head, I've made the movement a little bit bigger to try and use the chest a little bit more, move the ribs a little bit more. But I'm still keeping my hips pretty still. I'm going to let you see this from the side as well. So I'm trying to move my chest and my shoulders and my head, but as you can tell, the rest of me is staying pretty stable. And part of the reason for that, and if you want to, you can change the direction, is that we might carry a lot of tension in the upper part of our back. And if I allow my hips to move, which I will do in a second, the movement spreads more throughout the body. And at the moment, I'm wanting to try and direct the movement more towards the upper back. And if doing it with the arms overhead doesn't feel right for you, another one of my favorites is just to have the arms crossed in front of the chest, and I can get the arms to roll up and around. And again, maybe with this second variation, if you'd like, you can change directions once again. And again, the hips might be moving a bit, but I'm trying to direct the movement more towards the chest. And then I can involve the whole spine a bit more by allowing myself myself to bend over a little bit more. Right? We could do all of this in a chair. So if the balance isn't right for you, if there's anything of this that isn't working for you, and a chair would make it better or easier, then by all means, get yourself a chair. You may have noticed that I've changed direction. If you want to do the same, you can. If you want to continue on the same side a little bit longer, please do. But every time as I roll forward, I'm trying to roll a little bit deeper. Trying to bend a little bit closer to my legs, a little bit closer to the floor. I'm bending my legs as I go. So I'm not trying to get the biggest stretch. I'm just trying to allow the movement to massage the body. And one of the reasons I'm doing that is because a very active stretch response will wake up the active part of the nervous system, whereas we're trying to avoid doing that any more than it already is, right? So you can keep on doing this, keep on doing these slow rolls. You're doing it in a way that you can direct the movement, that the movement feels within your capacity, so you don't want to do it in a way that is stretching you both from a physical strength perspective in terms of exerting too much energy, and you also want to do it in a way that isn't creating a huge stretch response from the body. Come back to standing, maybe stand for a few seconds. And the last little part of this is just to roll down to one side. Again, the knees are going to bend at some point. Everything is going to fold forward. Go back to the side that you just came down. Push through the legs. And roll yourself back up to standing. Same thing on the other side. One ear to the shoulder. Allow the shoulder to come down towards the floor. At some point the chest might roll to the thighs. And then push the body back to the side and then all the way back up to standing. And if that feels good, you can do it again. And it's up to you how many times you do it. Maybe you want to do it a few times on one side before you change to the other. Or maybe you are alternating, doing one side and then immediately changing and doing the opposite side. And in my case, maybe I'll do it once again. I don't know why. I have this thing that I like doing uneven numbers, odd numbers. So in my case, I'm doing 3 on each side. But see what feels right to you. Oh, and then come back up to standing. Excuse the cough. And just begin to become aware of how different it might feel right now in my body. Maybe I'm a little bit calmer, maybe my mind is a little bit slower or clearer, or maybe the body just feels a little bit more like there's a little bit more movement, but in a very sort of soft, subtle way. These are the things that I'm noticing. Maybe I'm noticing that my feet feel a little bit more stable on the ground. Maybe that sense of stability is having a knock-on effect to the rest of my body and my mind and my breath. And so just notice what's going on in your feet, what's going on in your body, what's going on in your breath. And then ask yourself, is this something that might help before I go to bed, feeling this way? Or maybe even before you get into the shower, maybe it's something that you do in the morning. But just very soft movement to come back into the body. And I think particularly at the end of our day, we've spent so much time during our day out of body, that coming back into touch with the body, moving it, doing that sort of motion is lotion type movement can certainly help us rest a little bit more deeply. Have a great practice.